Okay, what's going on, everybody? So, I've been doing this thing explaining to people the how the planets hold monetary power, not only in the universe but also here on Earth, and they teach us through their distinctions of how they differ, right? So, for this discussion, I'm going to be explaining Uranus and Venus and how they pertain to money. So first of all, Uranus is a form of money that is digital currency on Earth. So that's when you go and you do electronic online banking. And if you get as far as the stable coins and the digi coins and the bitcoins and the blockchains, the ledgers and this, that, and the third, right? All forms of Uranus money. Now, Venus money is different than Uranus money. Before I get too deep, I do want to say that you will see forms of Venus money being enacted in your solar chart, which is the chart that goes by your sun sign being your first house on a day-to-day basis, in contrast to your natal chart. Because the transition is still being made. Uranus being monetary value on Earth is still a new thing, right? Trying to work out the kinks now with it being in the money sign of Taurus, but Uranus falls in Taurus, and that's why there's been such turbulence by trying to get this CBDC, or who's going to have the stable coin and when are they going to regulate this, that, and the third. That's why it's taking so much of a time to happen, because Uranus is in Taurus. Uranus is unpredictable. That's why Bitcoin is up here 20,000, 40,000, 20,000. You know what I mean? But you'll still see, because we've been utilizing fiat currency or paper currency, tangible currency for so long. And I don't mean gold. Gold is ruled by the sun. Silver is ruled by the moon. You get what I'm saying? But fiat currency, the touching of money is still been widely used so much that we're still making that transition. So for instance, if you're tracking Venus being in a specific spot in your chart, on your solar chart, and you obtain some money and you're like, oh, okay, that was Venus, that wasn't Uranus. And it's just like, yeah, that could be true, but the transition is still being made. And this is what makes this video so important, because today I got to actually experience the difference, and now I'm able to explain it distinctively, the difference between the two. All right, so like I said, Venus rules over tangible money, fiat currency, the dollar bills that we trade, the ones, the fives, the tens, the 20s, the 50s, the hundreds. Not only that, Venus also rules over checks, all right? So you got to think about it. Venus is the planet of love, right? The planet of exchanging value. So, prostitution is the oldest hustle in the world. You know what I'm saying? I bring this up in numerous videos. Reason being is because that's how much value touch has. That's why Taurus rules over the five senses, touch, assigning value to tangible matter is what Taurus rules over. All right? So Venus also rules over checks, because you can touch the paper. And I recommend that you be mindful that Venus money will stay around in that form even when blockchain takes over, even when the Bitcoin takes over, or digital currency takes precedence, should I say. There still will be forms of checks because of the Venus aspect of exchanging of value. There's just something uniquely distinct and different about handing someone a physical dollar and receiving a product in return, in contrast to walking by. Sooner or later, there's not going to be a clerk at your register. You're just going to put the thing up on the joint, tap your card, and you're out of there. It's already being done now in certain places. So it removes the five sensory element out of transactions of value, and that does something which I can explain in another video, and probably should, because I don't want to take away from this too tough. All right, but it's important that I explained that. So now look, for this discussion, the sign Taurus will relate to physical money in this story as well, because it naturally rules over that, like I just discussed, right? So for me, Taurus is in my solar third house because I'm a Pisces. So like I said, the solar chart pertains to your sun sign being your first house every day. So that's Pisces, Aries, Taurus, third house. Follow me? Good. Some of y'all know this stuff already, but just in case it's your first time watching this, you can learn this lesson right now because it differs from your natal chart. Unless, of course, you're a Pisces ascendant, then same thing applies. Pisces, Aries, Taurus, third house in your natal chart. And that could differ too because of the different. All right, I'm digressing a little bit, but you get what I'm saying. Now, in my natal house, however, Taurus is my ninth house. In my natal chart, Taurus is my ninth house. So it flips. All right? Follow me so far. Now, currently it's March 3rd, 2024. Currently, Uranus is transiting Taurus. Like I said, it falls in Taurus, and that's why we're having this difficulty in this sporadic movement of digital currency becoming stable in the sign of money, because it's not best expressed there because it's digital. When you're dealing with digital, something you ruled by Uranus, you're talking about the highest evolution of your mind on Earth, on planet Earth. So it's as above, got nothing to do with below. Taurus rules money below, what can tangibly be touched by the five senses in exchange and value form. All right? Falls in Virgo for that reason. Now, let me get back to my story. The planet Jupiter is also transiting the sign of Taurus at this time that I'm doing this video, right? This is very important as well. Okay, now, like I was saying, Uranus falls in Taurus, and in order for it to even be expressed, it has to be in the form of blockchain. It has to be in the form of online banking. It has to be in the form of even cold storage, right? They got like these hard drives now that you can have your digital currency on there, so it can be actually expressed in a tangible sense. But it's still, the point being is that Uranus rules over electric money. It's purely electric money, right? So we got electric synapses in our brain that fire off and stuff like that. That's Uranus money. It's not the same as Venus money. All right? So this is what happened. Now the story begins. I just had to give you some background on the knowledge of the things that we're going to be using for this story. So today I go to the store, right? Now I walk, which is ruled by the third house. Okay? I walk to the store in my community also ruled by third house, right? So I get there and I'm going to get something to eat. Eat is ruled by the sign Taurus. So Taurus in my third house because I'm a Pisces. Follow me? To be aware is to be alive, yo. Astrology is expressed through us. Time and time again, we just got to be aware to pick up on the signs. Read the signs of the times. So, going to get something to eat. Taurus rules over eating because Taurus rules the throat. All right? So, you know how they say about Taurus is always want to eat, right? So, I get to the store. I get what I'm going there to get. I put it on the counter. Now, I go to pay for it with my card. I use my card. It's declined. And I'm shocked. I'm not shocked because I'm broke. I'm shocked because I got money on my card. And I know I got money on my card. Like, I know I got money on my card. All right? Now, I know the people there, the clerks, and those are my boys and all that. Like, I could have just took the stuff and been like, yo, I got you when I come back, or I got you next week. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, that's how well I know these people. You get what I'm saying? But I didn't do that. I was like, yo, you know what? That's my bad. I'm going to put this stuff back. So I went and put the stuff back. Now, normally, and this is important to remember this because I'm going to do a breakdown on how emotions pertain to when planets move through the sign of Aquarius, they behave like they're moving through the sign Cancer now. This is something I picked up from the KRS channel on YouTube. I speak about this in some of my videos on my channel. Now, because normally, my point being was that normally if your card gets declined anywhere that you're out, that can be an embarrassing feeling, right or wrong. For me, it wasn't like that because I truly know that I have money on my card. You know what I'm saying? Something went wrong. I just wasn't aware of it, that I had to go fix it and shit like that. So I wasn't embarrassed. I was just like, I held my composure and I'm like, I'm gonna go put this stuff back. I'll be back, right? So I leave. I get to my building. I come in through the front door because I left out the back. Now I'm coming in through the front door, and I said, "Oh shit, let me check my mailbox." I ain't checked my mail, right? I was like, "Let me check the mail." Mailbox ruled by third house. So this is very important because sometimes I struggle explaining to people the difference between the solar chart and the natal chart. And I think I only struggle because I don't think everybody knows about that shit. You know what I'm saying? And how important it is to correlate both charts on a daily basis. So, again, we're talking about all my third house stuff from the solar dial, right? I get there, mailbox, third house again. I check my mailbox. I go in there. It's 2 envelopes. One of them, forgot what it was. Oh, I know what it was, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be explained right now. One of the envelopes is a check from an electronic company that I sued. Okay? Finally got here. Finally arrives. And this is unexpected. An unexpected windfall, which can be looked at as Uranus-like, right? But nonetheless, now mind you, think about the timing. I want you to remember the timing of this as well. Now, I'm normally going to the store to get something to eat because I know I got money on my card. This is something that I would normally do when I feel like I want something to eat. If I don't got something in the house that I got a taste for, I'll go to the store and get it. But this is the day out of all days that my card gets declined for whatever reason. I don't know yet. I'm still going home to discover this, right? So I grab the envelopes, I get upstairs, I open it, I see that it's a check from this electronic company that I sued. They gave me the money. And I'm like elated. I'm excited, and how should I say it? I'm just elated. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited. I feel good because not only did I get some money, but I'm learning this lesson at this very particular moment in time. Like, I'm telling myself, like, yo, you got to study this, and this is great for content. Like, look at what's happening. I'm learning as this is happening. Third house rules over learning. You feel me? So, mind you, this came in the form of a check. It wasn't sent to me electronically, right? This is important because this is where Venus is going to kick into high gear. But before we even get to Venus, I want to explain further on Jupiter transiting the sign Taurus at this time, which again on the solar chart is my third house. Now Jupiter rules over litigation, right? And it says that very word on my check. This is a form of litigation, or a compensation from litigation. Ninth house rules over matters of the court, the judges, and litigations. How resources get divvied up based upon some type of legal matter. So Jupiter's right there saying, look, I'm ruling this third house shit right now, and I'm showing you, I'm teaching you, because that's what the planets are, they're teachers. I'm teaching you that I have rulership over this area of life. The claim has been done. Your money is here. But Jupiter was just saying that as far as ruling over the litigation, right? The money that I received was in the form of Venus. All right. So I get the check and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to put it in. I'm going to go to, now I could have even went to the check cashing to get more Venus money with it, right? Went to the community check cashing place, which is be third house, and get more Venus money, tangible fiat. But I decided instead to upload it to my mobile phone and upload it to my bank. That's a form of Aquarius. That's a form of electronic money, and turning that Venus money into Uranus money, converting it, right? Because me taking the tangible and converting it into now electronic money would be exchanging Venus money for Uranus money. That's what I decided to do, and that's what I did, right? Now look, check this out. um, because it happened in that type of way, Taurus still rules over tangible money, which is the check. All right. So, as I mentioned earlier, Taurus is my third house in the solar chart. Natally, it's my ninth house because I'm a Virgo ascendant. Count 9 houses over, it lands in Taurus. So, Taurus being ruling over tangible money, what happened is I extracted the information and the resources from my solar chart on 3/3/2024, and I brought it home to my natal chart, which is me, which is the true me. The daytime me, that's my game face. Everybody's got one. Whatever your sun sign is, that's your first house when you come out in the solar chart. That's your game face. And then you got your natal chart, which is the real you, the true you. Right? You bring it home to you. So I brought it home to my ninth house. Ninth house rules over the internet. Aquarius does too, the sign. We'll get to that in a minute. But you make it fit the way it's supposed to fit. They both rule over the internet. So the ninth house being my natal chart placement for Taurus, I took the check, the tangible money, Taurus money, and I uploaded it to the internet. Ninth house, natal chart, ninth house to the internet, like that. So this is a clear, concise, clean-cut example of how you take resources, you extract resources and information and knowledge from your solar chart, and you bring it to your natal chart. Perfect example, yo. Perfect example. Now I want to elaborate on how planets transiting Aquarius now behave like planets transiting Cancer. I told you, I first heard this from KRS YouTube channel. I'm always going to give him his props for that. And since then, I've always been tracking it to see how much truth it has and how continuous that truth is. And it hasn't failed me yet, and this time as well, because I mentioned when I'm at the counter, I could have got erratic, right? I could have maybe flipped on the clerk, like, nah, you gotta try this again. You trying to tell me I ain't got no money? You know what I'm saying? But I told you, I know I got money. Oh, I left that part out, right? So I call my bank to find out, like, yo, what's going on? They like, yo, you had a fraudulent charge on your card on such and such and such date. Do you recognize this transaction? So I go online to where they're saying the transaction is coming from. To my knowledge, this is a legitimate company. Like, I actually get revenue, a stream of revenue through this company. I've been getting it. And for this reason, for whatever, they was just like, yo, it's a fraudulent transaction. And I'm like, I never know them to be fraudulent. Like, this is a legitimate company. But maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm none the wiser, because, like I said, that check came from a very legitimate establishment as well. An electronic company. Electronic ruled by Aquarius too and stuff like that. But they're a reputable company too. So you never know sometimes. Just because a company is reputable don't mean they don't make mistakes or commit fraud. So maybe I got another lawsuit coming. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm like, yeah, I do recognize that charge. And I'm just like, yo, why you didn't take it out? Like, it usually gets taken out. They're like, no, this is brought up as a fraudulent charge. So I'm like, I don't even want to argue with them, right? I'm just like, yo, what do I got to do to get my card unblocked? You know what I'm saying? They was like, oh, yeah, you just got to answer your security questions and do, security protocols, this, that, and the third, and we'll unblock your card right now. I'm like, okay, fantastic. So, I made sure, I'm like, yo, I got money, right? They like, yeah, we see it and everything's cool. Don't worry. We just had to make sure that we spoke to you before we unblock your card. So I'm like, all right. So now I'm thinking to myself again, like, on the company, this charge was done like 30 days ago. So I'm like, yo, why didn't it just pop up 30 days ago when it first happened? Why I chose today out of all days to pop up? And I know why. It's because my solar house was activated to teach me. Third house. My solar chart was activated to teach me through the third house. Like, yo, learn this. Third house, learning. In order for me to have learned this all had to occur. My card had to be declined for me to learn this information. You get what I'm saying? So that's why it happened that way, because who gets a card declined with money on it? Like, that shit just doesn't make sense. So I'm learning all of this. I'm like epiphany after epiphany. I'm like, I'm loving the download, right? It's one of the best, greatest downloads I've had. So I'm like, all right. So I told you when I got to my apartment. So now I'm home, right? Again, when planets transit through Aquarius, they behave like they're at home. So Venus is transiting Aquarius at this particular time. I think Mars is too. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. But I definitely know Venus is, right? And it's important, this could sound confusing, right? But Venus is exalted in the sign of Pisces. And I bring that up because when Venus is exalted in the sign of Pisces, that means the ethereal thoughts, every thought that can be imagined is Venus being inside of Pisces. But it's the greatest of them all that says, yeah, I want to spend time with this particular person, or I want to spend time in this park sitting by the lake, feeding the birds. You just keep adding on to whatever your imagination can imagine, right? That's Venus in Pisces. But Venus, in order to be tangible on the ground, it has to fall inside of Virgo to become tangible, material wealth, right? I bring up Pisces because the moon is exalted in Taurus, which rules over the subconscious mind. The moon rules over the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is ruled by Pisces. I said this could get complex, but when you know, you know, and you study this shit long enough, you've always come back to this video to hear exactly what I'm talking about, because there's a correlation here. So when the moon, which rules over the subconscious mind, is first in the thoughts, the same way that Venus, although can be tangible when it falls, when it's exalted, is in the thoughts or in the feels, right? In the subconscious mind, there's a correlation there. There's a matching to where a great feeling, right? A great emotion is produced. And this is how they act similar. So the elation that I felt from obtaining the wealth at home was just like, it was like bliss. So it's like, okay, yeah, because I held my own composure, I didn't get erratic, I didn't flip on the clerk, I didn't call the bank and say, yo, fix my fucking shit, how dare you, you know, I'm out here and my car gets declined, why would you do that, you know what I'm saying, like, none of that, everything is held composure. I get home and there's more money there. You get what I'm saying? So it's just this feeling of elation and feeling good and just accepting all of this, embracing all of this there was no anger produced throughout all of this. You understand what I'm saying? There was no ill emotion. There was no losing control or letting my emotions get the best of me, is what I'm trying to say. So Venus transiting Aquarius did feel like home because Venus arrived in my home in the form of a check. You get what I'm saying? So it's important. I want to make that correlation. I want to make that distinction so that people understand. And not for nothing, Aquarius is the neighboring sign to Pisces. So if the Venus is exalted inside of the Pisces sign, and that's the highest frequency of thoughts outside of the firmament, which is ruled by Aquarius, but outside of it is where Pisces is, where the imagination roams free, runs wild to do whatever, right? Imagine anything. And when it gets to the Aquarian level, this is where it gets more concentrated, it gets more knowledge-based, knowledgeable. The information gets assorted in a way that is comprehensive, in a way that makes sense, and in a way that is objective more than subjective. Pisces is subjective, Aquarius is objective. So this is where the money starts becoming Uranus-like, because it's like as above. Like the money that was still on my card, that's that as above. Electronic money. I knew I had the money in my card. So what real reason is there to be erratic or respond in an ill way at that moment in time? You get what I'm saying? The solace of knowing that I had it up here anyway is what's trying to be taught to humans and humanity. Like your wealth is already up here. You have all of the wealth right here. You just got to unlock it. And part of unlocking it is not letting your emotions get the best of you. It's not saying to not feel emotions though. You get what I'm saying? Because there are positive produced emotions in an individual that makes them feel inspired and encouraged and ready to do other things. The same way I felt when I came and obtained the check out the mailbox. Like, oh, my, let's go some more money, you know? But it was like a contagious feeling. It was an emotion that kept on traveling, like, because I didn't lose anything knowing that I still had money. You know, card that got declined. Okay, it's a technical issue or error somewhere that just needs to be addressed. Like a professional. Like I carried it out. You know what I'm saying? But that's that above money. So that I could get ready for the below money. So when I got the below money, I didn't even keep it as the below money. I say I'm gonna upload it and get it back to the above money. And I got some other stuff to do like throughout the week to where I'm gonna need cash in order to carry it out. So I'll get some below money again and do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to further study emotions, because that's the vein that I was already in anyway before this occurred, is studying emotions by like watching people's faces and their body language when I do hand them cash or if I do hand them a check. In contrast to when I'm just breezing through and I just tap the joint, ping, keep it moving. I want to see how they respond to that as well. Because I was just talking to a client about this not too long ago, about how we communicate via technology, and it forces us to remove a lot of the emotion out of the conversation. So women more than men get to learn through webcam because they can't necessarily be all emotional or use their emotional expressions as tools and power over men. It's a difference when you're in front of a man, you know, and we would both agree to this, like they could, you know, throw themselves around. And of course we could do it too, but women are more of a masters at like flirting and moving their body parts in a certain type of way, moving their hips, snake charming and stuff like that, dance and all of that. Like they really truly rule over that shit to where they can put men under a trance. Right? But with the screen between us, they get to be more logical and communicate with us on a logical stance, which they're not used to. They're at home being in their emotions. You know what I'm saying? These screens between us, you got to use more of your brain, you know? And so they get to see more of why we are the way that we are because of the composure that we hold when we're on. You know, I'm kind of dragging this now, but I think that's an important point to make as well, because, you know, again, planets transiting Aquarius, rules over technology, are going to behave like they're transiting through Cancer, which is the home. And, you know, Cancer rules over emotions. If you get erratic, you get, you know, usually associated with a woman's characteristics, right? Men have it too, though. I'm not tripping, but you get what I'm saying, majority of the time. So to be able to be at home and communicate via your webcam in a way that, you know, you can't hit each other. So all that domestic violence shit is out of the window. Right or wrong. Saves a lot of bullshit from happening. Prevents a lot of bullshit from happening. And I believe that the more that it's continued, that we communicate in that type of way, sure, we lack emotion, we lack human touch, but I think that'll get us back to the point of valuing human touch much more the way that it was in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? To where it'll be a true blessing to grace the presence, to be in the presence of another individual to the point where you can actually touch them again. It's just like, oh my God, I can't believe you're here. Like I'm actually here with you, one on one. You know, you get the value that, you get to cherish it again. I'm gonna leave that here until next time, until I come up with another session of that I could teach to compound this. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. All right, I'm out.